Hey! Today you will learn a lot about human blood. Let's get started. Human blood is very similar to water in its density. For women, the blood density values reach 1.29 hundredths, for males, 1.62. Human blood contains fibrinogen. Together with plasma, it makes blood 5 times more viscous than water. In case of increased blood viscosity, consult a doctor. After all, this could be a sign of a stroke or coronary heart disease. From the fact that the human heart works continuously, it can be concluded that blood is constantly moving in the human body. This statement is incorrect. In total, on average, the human body contains from 4.5 to 6 liters of blood, and only 1/5 of this number is in constant motion. That blood that runs through the vessels of the lungs, brain and other organs. In world literature, doctors have repeatedly ridiculed the desire to engage in bloodletting. However, they had their own reasons for this process at that time. Even in the time of Hippocrates, there was an opinion about the presence of 4 fluids in the human body: mucus, black bile, yellow bile and blood. In order for the body to be healthy, the balance of fluids must be observed. Excess blood was one of the main causes of disease. When wealthy people went to doctors, they were immediately bled. In some cases, this was enough and the patient felt better. If this method did not help, a deeper study began. Until 1628. Few people asked questions and studied the circulatory system. It was enough for people to know that blood is formed in the liver and from there, moving through the venous vessels, spreads through the body, and then evaporates. Even for suddenly discovered venous valves, a clear and simple explanation was found: it is necessary to slow down the blood flow. The first to prove the movement of blood in the human body in a circle was the Englishman William Harvey. However, he was unable to explain how blood moves from an artery to a vein. Arthur Conan Doyle, creator of the study in crimson, was at least 6 years ahead of science. In this story, the main character, Sherlock Holmes, who first met Dr. Watson, tells a new acquaintance about his amazing discovery. The detective invented a reagent with which it is possible to determine the presence of hemoglobin even in the smallest. In the 19th century, it was not uncommon for writers to popularize scientific discoveries. However, the novel, describing the events of 1881, was published in 1887, and the search for a way to determine the presence of blood began only in 1893 in Austria-Hungary. In Iraq, since the reign of Saddam Hussein, there is one insoluble problem: the bloody Quran. When writing this copy, the blood of ruler Saddam Hussein was used instead of ink. For 2 whole years he donated blood to create a manuscript and gave the order to build a special mosque to store the Quran. Saddam was overthrown and executed, but the Quran remained. The blood on the pages of the book is unclean. Saddam committed the sin of allowing her to be used to create the Quran. But it is also impossible to destroy the Quran. The question of the further fate of the bloody Quran was never resolved. One of the most interested physicians in blood transfusion in human history was Jean-Baptiste Denis, personal physician to King Louis XIV of France. He really wanted to learn how to supplement the blood volume in the human body. The doctor began experiments by injecting sheep's blood into young organisms. The first 2 participants in the experiment, a teenager and a worker, quite successfully survived the transfusion of 350 milliliters. But a wealthy patient, Gustave Bongy, died on a second transfusion. The resonance was very great, and for 235 years in France, a ban on blood transfusion was established. If the information was useful to you, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.